lost my train of thought, but here we go. We haven't seen no family photos of Oakley Dean Baldwin with his cousin Pauline, all hugged up at a family reunion, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, baptisms, funerals, family funeral. What funerals did Oakley Dean go to that Pauline Pusser was there? Even one funeral, even one photograph.
Good point.
Same way, I put it in one video a while back, and I don't mean to be disrespectful. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm just asking for proof. I'm asking what everybody else is thinking. Pauline's brother that had her dug up, that gave permission, not Madison. Madison didn't give permission to dig her mother up. Eric Vance didn't give permission to dig his mother up. Her brother come in there.
His grandmother, right?
Grandmother. Yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay.
baby. Thank you. Thanks for keeping me straight on. That's not dementia, guys. I just lost my.
Just a slip
That's
up.
not dementia.
No.
I don't have dementia. May have someday. My mother died with it.
Yeah.
So. But as of right now, I'm pretty good. Let's don't get to. Let's don't say that. But the brother, Pauline's brother, that gave permission to dig her up. He made a video that they're so proud of. Mark Davison, so proud of. Play that beautiful brother footage. If I'd known what was going on then, like I know now, didn't know because you didn't get along with Buford Pusser.
They didn't talk.
It's been said, let's use Mark Elam's stuff here. It's been said, I heard that you and Pauline didn't even get along because you and Buford didn't get along. Is there truth to that? See, we don't know. We heard that, just like Mike Elam says he hears things.
Sure.
We heard that you and Pauline didn't even get along. You got to understand, there's still family members alive. There's still people out there that knows the family and knows the history, and even grandchildren and such that hears their mom and dads talk or their grandparents. We heard you didn't even get along. Does the brother have any pictures of Pauline at Christmas time with his family, at a funeral with Pauline where somebody in their family died in the last let's say 1 or 2 years before Pauline died, 1 or 2 years before she died? Is there anything like that? That would really help out. How did somebody give permission to dig somebody up when their own grandchildren wouldn't do it because they knew their mother wouldn't do it? April the 10th, 2024. Reveal. This may be 3 videos, guys. Reveal issues and additional memo after reviewing 3 color photos of Sheriff Buford taken 8/12/67. Sheila's put those videos on her. Go look at our number 1 or number 2 video way back. Reveal issues and additional memo after reviewing 3 color photos of Sheriff Buford taken on 8/12 before he was taken into surgery. Before he was taken into surgery, Dr. Reveal looks at 3 other photos. Let's go on and see what it says. The conflict here is crucial. Pillar documents the injuries. Reveal argues the narrative doesn't line up with the close range indicators in the vehicle interior evidence. That's great. Doc, on what day of the month and what year was you sitting in that driver's seat looking over at the passenger seat, or passenger looking at the driver and measuring, and in that car? Not an AI car, not something you do with AI. Again, guys, you can take AI and make Fred McCoy look like he's got a whole head full of hair, 6 foot tall, and nothing but muscle. You could make his pot belly disappear in an instant with AI. We don't want to see AI, Doc. We want to see you sitting in that car and evaluating that car with that evidence before you give us your opine. Doesn't line up. He says Pillar's documents and the injuries doesn't line up with his, because he looked at some pictures of the interior of that car. Guys, a jury is going to love this.
Nothing beats the real thing, though.
If you think a jury, 12 people, I believe you could probably find 12 and put on a jury and probably let me present this to them. Yet, this is going to go into 3 videos, guys. Yet, never saw blood splatter, never saw vehicle, never saw Buford's face, never saw Pauline at the hospital, never saw Pauline been autopsied. Yet, I won't. Let's just never saw none of that. I'm not going to use the last.
Yeah.
He never saw the autopsy. He never saw Pauline's body up close and personal.
Mhm.
He never saw Buford Pusser's face up close and personal because he's looking at the same pictures that we looked at, and we show them up close as we can because somebody said, "Oh, he had a close contact wound." Really? We're not seeing it, guys. I was a cop for 40 years. I wasn't. Somebody said, "Oh, he's a little small department." I wasn't in LA. I wasn't. But if you've worked one homicide, you've worked 100. If you homicide is a homicide, a death's a death, a investigation's a investigation, a burglary's a
right.
burglary, a assault's assault, domestic's a domestic. We didn't see it in the photos that we saw. We didn't see it. Maybe we need to look at the photos. Maybe he's got 3 different photos. We haven't found them.
Right.
Conflict with things didn't match up to Buford's statement. He says the conflict with things just didn't match up with Buford's statement.
Say, yeah.
Please show us Buford's statement. Please, once again, I've only done it in every video we've made. Please show us so we can shut up about Buford's statement. Please show us Buford's statement. I'm not talking about the 2 pages that we've got around here that somebody's typed up and said Buford went here and Buford said this and he said that. And we're not talking about something somebody's typed up and said, "Hey, look, this is Buford's statement. Look what I got." That's not Buford's statement. That's some words made into a sentence, made into paragraphs, put on some pages and said that this is Buford's statement. Buford's statements are made on these videos when you see these old videos and news footage and radio where Buford talks and he says, "Yeah, this happened and car come up beside of me, headlights come on." Where they get these remakes, guys? Remake of what? They say they're remaking a Buford's. I heard Buford Pusser on that video. Sheila made a tribute to Buford, and I'm watching it. Buford says, "Yeah, going down, it's about break of day, and car pulls up behind me."
That time I
Beside
noticed that
of
the
me.
headlights came
When I
on.
noticed that the headlights come on, they started shooting. I gassed it. I floored it. I
Gunned it. I think
gunned
is
it.
what he said.
I gunned it and took off fast as I could. I thought
So
I
to get
lost
my
them.
bearings.
That's Buford's statement.
Mhm.
If you want to see Buford Pusser's statement, go back to the news footages, radio interviews. Go back to these and listen to Buford talk. That's Buford Pusser's statement.
Mhm.
You're seeing his statement. He don't have to sign it because you're seeing it come out of his mouth.
You're hearing it, yeah.
That thing that they're calling a statement that they're passing around, the TBI. I cannot believe that Mr. Roush, there's no way he was ever a law enforcement officer. Mr. Roush has to be a politician that made friends with the governor and they're close friends. And he says, "Hey, instead of bringing somebody from inside the TBI or a law enforcement officer, you're my buddy and I'm going to make you in charge of the TBI." And he says, "Okay, thank you, Gov. I'll do you good. Now I've got to make me a name for myself because there's no way that man has got, in my opinion, any law enforcement experience. If he does, he's done it undercover because he ain't want nobody to know it. That's for sure. Not going to happen, guys. No signature, no letterhead, nobody that signed it, who transcribed it. Anybody that transcribes something like that will sign that they transcribed by, witnessed by, date, and then this is my statement.
Sometimes they put the
Buford
time,
Pusser.
don't they?
This is my statement, Buford Pusser. What, man?
Sometimes don't they put the time,
Oh, sure.
transcribe that,
Yeah, and signed that.
Mhm.
Signed, and then you got a notary usually. Probably one of the detectives, but somebody's a notary public swearing to it. No date, no signature. Someone wrote something and said this was Buford's, plain and simple. That's what it is. They wrote something out and typed it out and said this is Buford's. After seeing this dog and pony show in 2025, it's not hard to believe. This, if I didn't see this with my own eyes,
Yeah.
I would never believe this. I wouldn't. If I was the governor, I would be totally embarrassed. If I was in the TBI, I would be threatening to resign. Governor, if you don't replace our director, I'm going to resign. This has been an embarrassment for me. I've worked 20 years in the TBI, and then I've got to retire. I'm ashamed to tell anybody that I ever worked in the TBI after this. The governor has to do something. If Mr. Roush was any kind of a man, and Mr. Davison, they would resign. They would just say, hey guys, we overreacted. We jumped the gun. Sorry about this. We retract everything we've said about Buford Pusser. We have no proof. We have no proof. We come out too soon. We shouldn't have said that. And we're going to resign. We owe it to you just to resign and go on about our way. They'd get more respect than they're going to get as this goes on. Too bad Pillar's not here to disagree. Can you imagine Dr. Pillar debating or going against or showing what he saw against what Mr. Revelle says he sees in photographs? Can you imagine? Guess if you were alive, day and breathing, you trump a dead man's expertise. Guess if you were alive and breathing.
Talking about Dr. Peeler.
Yeah,
Dr.
Revelle. Since he's alive and breathing, I guess he trumps anything that Dr. Pillar said on his report back then. Even though Dr. Pillar was a eyewitness, he saw it.
Hands on.
He felt.
Yep.
Hands on. He knows.
Yep.
Exculpatory evidence. Guys, anybody out there know what exculpatory evidence is? I learned that early on in police as a young officer. Exculpatory. I use it a lot in some of my comments. Exculpatory. Exculpatory evidence is any information or evidence that tends to prove a defendant's innocence, lessens their culpability, or discredits the prosecution's case. Anytime as a police officer, a defense attorney files a discovery, usually the last thing they ask at the bottom is, do you have any exculpatory evidence dealing with in relation to my client? Do you have any exculpatory evidence in relation to my client? I represent John Doe. You arrested John Doe. And do you have anything that would tend to prove his innocence? Anything that would help me prove his innocence? Or can you imagine asking a police officer, you've taken a man to jail, you've had to fight with him or whatever it was, or he beat his wife and kids or anything. And then a lawyer asks you, do you have anything exculpatory to disclose? Anything that tends to prove his innocence? No. Because if you've got something like that, you're taking up for him. But guess what? There are some times that there is exculpatory evidence. And as bad as that police officer doesn't want to disclose it or tell it because you're swearing to this discovery that you're filling out.
Mhm.
It's a sworn statement. You have to tell the truth or you lied. You perjured yourself. Do you have any exculpatory evidence? Well, I arrested your client for DUI. I didn't actually see him driving, but he had the keys in his hand and he was standing beside his car. I didn't actually see him take the money out of the cash register, but I was told by this other person that has also been charged in the same case. So he's given testimony against this one. So is he giving the testimony? Because where two or more is involved, one will talk. And I loved it. Whenever there was two people involved in any case I ever worked, I'm solving that case. This case could be solved today. You're going to see here in a minute where they go talk to Nix in 1980. 1980, they went and talked to Nix. Nix wanted to talk about the judge and the woman that was killed and all this and that. But when I worked a case where there was two people, I was going to give them a choice. One in one room, one in another. Whichever one of you tells me first, the other one has got a reduced sentence. The other one, you may even go free. If I have to let one of you go free to get the other one, I ain't going to let you both walk. This next guy, somebody could go in there in 2025 and say, hey, tell us what you know about the Buford Pusser case. If it's anything that's incriminating, anything you did or anything you had a part of, shucks, he's been in prison most of his life. You don't kill somebody, you get 5 years. You've been in prison most of his life now. We'll exonerate you. We're not going to hold it against you. You're qualified immunity. You're immune. We'll give you immunity. Tell us what you know about Buford Pusser case. And let the guy say, yeah, I was part of it. Me and Towhead, me and this person, that person, they did this, they did that. The gun is here. Gun's in the pond. The gun's buried.
The story.
The gun, PD Plump got the gun. He may say that. He may say
Yeah.
PD Plump was in, his own deputy helped us on this.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I'm using my opinion. I'm speculating because I don't know. Who would have thought a deputy sheriff would have had a hold of a stolen gun or a gun that you thought was implicated in a murder? But somebody could go talk to Nix and they could solve this case. TBI would hate that but that's the best. If the FBI would ever get involved in this case, FBI could go talk to Nix and say, hey, here's the deal. We're gonna let you out of here. You're free. Go live your life. You've served your time. You've served more time than most people serve for murder.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened. Tell us the truth. It's got to be the truth. You got to pass the polygraph. You got to show proof. You've got to have some evidence.
Tell something that nobody else.
Yeah. Or show them something that nobody else knew. Or guys, Buford was in shock. Buford drove around. Buford was traumatized. Buford's best friend had just been killed.
Yeah.
He knows she's dead. If you think Buford don't know her head's gone and that she's dead, Buford knows she's dead. He's in no hurry. He thinks he's dying. He just wants to get a hold of somebody and he wants to kill somebody. That's what Buford was looking for. Now, Mike Elam don't understand that because Mike Elam don't have the mentality that Buford Pusser had. That's why he's so jealous of Buford Pusser. That's why he's so angry at Buford Pusser. That's why he cannot believe that there's somebody out there like Buford Pusser. He can't believe that Buford Pusser can just fight, whoop up, shoot up. Again, Buford Pusser never shot at nobody. You heard his buddy the other day. Buford Pusser never shot nobody that didn't shoot at him first.
Yeah.
I guess you could say Buford Pusser never shot nobody that didn't deserve to be shot. Let's see what TBI Mark Davison wants to do. Exculpatory evidence. My question is here, just imagine, is there any exculpatory evidence been taken out of this file? Is there any evidence been taken out from the 1967 case all the way up to 2025 by Mr. Davison, by Mr. Roush, by the other two officers that's up there? Has anybody taken anything out? They're reading over this case file and they say, Buford Pusser saved 6 children out of this burning school bus. Let's take that out. Wouldn't have nothing to do with this case, but is there anything exculpatory that would help prove Buford Pusser's innocence? Instead of looking at a photograph and saying Buford Pusser, the inside the car didn't match up with the cranial damage, or he killed her outside the car. Is there anything that says that she was never outside the car? Is there anything that says Pauline's clothing was clean? Is there anything that says Pauline didn't have no dirt on her legs or knees or moisture, dew?
Exactly.
Is there anything that says that it didn't appear she'd ever been removed from her car? Exculpatory. Is there anything that TBI has taken out of this case on Buford Pusser that would be exculpatory? Because if there is, that's unfair. That's not right. That's not justice. That's not the way it's supposed to be. But then again, we know you're not supposed to stand up on a stage and accuse somebody for murder on a person's opinion. But we did that. So I don't know that the exculpatory question would have any bearing on them or their morals or not, to be honest with you. Do we trust these guys? I don't, in my opinion. I don't trust them. I'm sorry, but I don't. You have to earn somebody's trust. You have to show people that you're trustworthy. Again, when I sit down, when I seen that on TV on YouTube, what's this going on? And I sit there in my chair after 10 minutes and I said, this is a dog and pony show. Now I've called it that 3 or 4 times, probably done called it that today. If I ain't, I will.
You just did.
Because this is a dog and pony show. And when I sit there watching that and I watch these guys, I could see them. I didn't trust them. I didn't trust them.
Mm.
Don't mean they're not trustworthy. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the October the 19th, 2023, a team with KBI, SAC, KCD Latham. I thought his name was Corey. Corey's Forensic, but this may be somebody else. This may be KCD Latham and NFA training specialist Jason Jones conducts replication test using a 357 Python to match observed patterns on a 1967 Plymouth Ferry on the Plymouth Ferry to match observed patterns on the 1967. So they're looking at a picture,
Uh-huh.
a photograph,
Uh-huh.
and they're saying that they're going to match these blood patterns, guys. 1967 car, and they're going to match the blood patterns. Now, in order to match these blood patterns, you would have to know when that car was waxed last, how many coats of wax it had on it, when's the last time it was waxed. Maybe it's never been waxed, and maybe it's full of dirt from driving down that dirty road, that dusty road, got dust all over it. See, because if you throw something, if you throw some blood out there, that blood, if it hits dust and dirt and gravel dust on that top of that hood of that car, it's not going to,
Stop.
it's going to stop.
Mhm.
Listen to my expert here.
I don't know about
That's it.
that.
That's
But,
no, that's a
yeah.
good example, babe. It doesn't take a title of
With
an
a smooth
expert.
surface, it's got room to
If that
glide and
vehicle was
move or
just
whatever.
waxed the day before,
Mhm.
a new car,
Mhm.
1967 Plymouth Ferry in 1967. The car is 9 months old. 9 months old. New paint job. When you hit that blood splatter, did it hit that wax and just take off? Did it? They looked at a photograph, guys. Now, if you can believe this, and if you do believe this, I got some oceanfront property. If you believe this, you're definitely subscribers of Mike Elam's channel, no doubt.
And they took the Colt 357 and
You're
shot
trying to
it.
you're trying to change subject, move me along, ain't you? Why 357, guys?
That's what I wondered.
Guys, did we find any 357 rounds out there? Have you ever read anywhere where a 357 cartridges have been discovered on New Hope Road? Now we're to believe what they're going for here is Buford Pusser shot her with his 357 Magnum. Now, see, a 357 a lot of times will stay in the head. A 30 cal, especially a high velocity. They're saying a high velocity, which would be a 30-06. I've heard 30-06 rounds, 30-06 casings were found out there. If that's true, that's what went through Pauline's head, a 30-06.
Exactly.
357, it may have went through her head, may not have. You never know on a 357. Hollow point bullet, who knows? They're trying to imply that Buford shot her with his 357. Well, Buford also carried a 41 Magnum, but we're to believe that Buford shot his wife with his 357 point blank because Reveal.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to start.
You're okay. You're
Yeah.
good.
But Reveal says that he looked and he could see close contact. So if he could see close contact, if it's close enough to powder to burn the flesh, it's close enough for blood splatter to go back onto the barrel. If it's close enough to have the powder residue and the burns,
Yeah.
It's close enough that when that chin blows off, blood goes everywhere and it comes back on the gun. Now Buford, he's got blood all over the hood, all over the place, and he's got blood on his gun. Now he's got to go clean his gun because he's thinking, as a good cop, he's thinking, well, they're going to look at my gun. TBI is going to inspect my gun. I've got to put another cartridge in this gun to load it up, because when they take it out, they're going to wonder, what's this empty cartridge doing in my gun? So I've got to discard this cartridge and I've got to load another round in, and I've got to get this blood off my gun, because they said Buford never took his gun out of his holster. He said he gunned it and took off. He was just trying to get out of there. Never removed his gun from his holster. So there would be no blood on his gun down in his holster.
Right.
It would be clean. But they said the stage was set. So on setting this stage on these 3 or 4 different crime scenes, he had to also remember that he had to clean his gun, reload it, get rid of that empty casing. Guys, if you knew how outrageous this sounds to anybody with half of a brain, they report multiple forward splatters, impact patterns, blood drops moving in the same direction as an object striking liquid blood, constant with someone injured, both outside and inside the vehicle. You know, I don't cuss no more. But if I did, I would let out a big old no poop right here. There's somebody, that blood splatter on that hood proves that there was somebody outside the car injured and somebody inside the car injured too. Really? Wow. I wish I had that expert title, because I could have gave you a statement stating the same thing without half the price. I could have said that. Buford got out of the car, guys. You don't see us. Don't pay no attention to this movie where this Joe Don Baker goes across the seat. Joe Don Baker's not as big as Buford Pusser, first of all. Second of all, Pauline was down in the floor. So he had the whole seat to go to. The seat was pushed all the way back. It's a movie scene.
Exactly.
Don't believe that 6'6", 300 pounds. He was 250 pounds when he wrestled. When Buford Pusser died, he was 300 pounds. Don't think that 6'6" Buford Pusser went across that seat and went out the passenger side. Buford Pusser went out that car door and around that car to get to his wife as fast as he could. When he got to her, he saw her brains are gone. She's dead. He knew then there's nothing he can do. He went back around the car and got in. And he goes looking for the bad guys. Buford said over the years that he didn't know who it was, but sometimes you'd see a little smirk. We believe he knew who some of them was. We believe some of these people that's been killed, that's snipered off the top of a hotel, Towhead White, they blame 3 or 4 different people, including Buford. There's 2 or 3 of them died in suspicious ways. We don't know. We're not taking up for Buford. We think Buford's probably capable of probably anything. He didn't kill his wife.
No.
It's not been proven that he killed his wife. And we don't believe he did. Buford shoots Pauline with his gun and cleans his gun. Was powder residue done on Buford? Did the TBI, this great big professional law enforcement agency, did they do a powder residue test on Buford to see if Buford's hands had any gunpowder on? Because he never touched no guns. He didn't even pull his own gun. Sorry, they say in his statement. Oh, they say in his statement now that he got a hold of this guy's gun. Has anybody ever heard him in a taped interview say that? Has anybody ever heard Buford? I can't find it if it's out there.
Yeah, no.
Put it in comments. We've never seen nothing where in his own voice, he said he grabbed a hold of the man's gun and tried to pull it. We haven't seen that. That's written in a third party.
If he was that close, he'd know who done it.
Well, that's a statement that's never been signed. Wasn't even signed by the person that typed the statement. We don't know. That's some words.
Right.
See, guys, they trying to right a wrong after 58 years on a dead man. And it's not allowed. And that is to show the FBI that the TBI is better than them. 1967. Now, somebody wrote us a while back and said, I ain't seen that. I can't see that proof. Well, it's easy. It's on our videos. We've got a couple of newspapers out that said the FBI has now joined the TBI and Buford Pusser case, Pauline Pusser case. The FBI joined the case. Why is it the TBI didn't come back 58 years later and say, hey, FBI, you want to join up with us? Let's reopen this case. Two things. Maybe they thought the FBI wouldn't go along with it, which I don't believe that, because under the Joe Biden administration, the FBI has never been lower or more corrupt than any agency in the world under that. Cash Patel's bringing it back. He'll straighten it out. They'll get some dignity and back, hopefully. But they could have got the FBI to agree to anything during that term. When they started this with Mike Elam, they could have brought the FBI in. The FBI would have said, yeah, we'll go along with you. We'll go along and say Buford done it. It's a wonder you don't see a couple of FBI agents up there from back then. You won't see them now. You won't see them now. Cash Patel wouldn't allow that now.
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen now. The good FBI agents won't allow that. There's good FBI agents that's always been there. They just couldn't speak out. Some of them are. Some of them's becoming whistleblowers now. But Mark Davison, and especially TBI director David Rouse, wanted to show the FBI. The FBI was involved back in 67. They're not involved in 2025. It was only the TBI. Pat yourself on the back, guys. Because before it's over with, an FBI laboratory advisory says a group blood testing on the dried blood from the hood outside the windshield and rear bumper was inconclusive. That's the FBI back in 67. That means no definite person specific was identified by the bloodstains. Well, it's one or two people. Only two people there was bleeding that day, Pauline and Buford.
Yeah.
Pauline got shot in that car in the side and in the back of the head.
Right.
The side of her head took the other side of her head off and went out the window, where Dennis Hathcock, I believe him on that. I believe he did find, I don't know how he knew where that was at. That's a question I would have for
That's
him.
$1 million question, isn't it?
Yep, that's
interesting.
So the patterns suggest movement and injury around the car. That's what the FBI said. We don't doubt that. The chemistry on those dried stains, as summarized here, doesn't tell us whose blood it was. Well, Pauline was shot in the car.
Yeah.
She shot in the back of the head. Whose blood was it? It was Buford's blood, guys. It's not hard. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Buford got out to check on his wife. He's told people that with his voice, not in a statement. There is no statement of Buford Pusser's that's ever been signed by Buford Pusser. First thing the TBI should have done when they started out with this, and they said, where's his statement? Let's review it. And they give them 2 sheets of paper, and it ain't got no letterhead. It ain't got no signatures. It ain't got no date. It's just 2 sheets of letterhead. Somebody's typed on an old typewriter. The TBI should have said, what is this? And they said, that's Buford's statement. Say, get out of here. Get out of here. Go try to find Summer Wells. Go try to find Sebastian Rogers. This is nonsense. Get out of my office with that nonsense. Unless you think, Buford Pusser, walking tall, Buford, fame, fortune, name, notoriety. See what you can find out on that. Let's hire some experts. Don't worry about the FBI and ATF. Now why would we want to go to them when they're free and they'll do all these tests for us for free? Why would we want to go to them when we can go to and pay for it? We got tax dollars. We got money. Let's hire some expert witnesses. Let's hire some experts and tell them, try to find some of them that has that little gold seal that says satisfaction guaranteed. Try to find us some of them. I'm being facetious, but this could also be really happened. Try to find some of those that says money back. If you're not satisfied with our consultation, money back. That's who we want. That's who we want doing our reports. It's sad, but it looks like it's true.
Could happen.
Agent received from Mike Elam's copy of possible photographs of Buford's injuries, 8/12/1967. Elam says Patty Horton told him she bought the photos. Go ahead, babe.
She bought, Patty Horton told him she bought the photos for $500 dollars from Petey Plunk, then gave them to Elam. Photographer unknown. 3 photos attached to that reveals notes, the age, the cleansing of the wounds, limits interpretation, but concludes that the injuries were close contact range, not intermediate long distance rifle fire, and likely self-inflicted.
Buford's wounds in these photographs, and evidently they got the photographs there, which is the same photographs that Sheila and I have looked
That
at.
we've looked at.
Unbelievable that a
Mhm.
person can tell you with a title. It's unbelievable what a person can tell you as long as they've got a title.
Mhm.
Maybe someday we can get this case into court with another so-called expert witness or witnesses, and they can counter Dr. Revell's opinions because that is nothing more than his opinion. Now he says up there, Revell notes the age and cleansing of the wound limits his interpretation. Again, what's his photography experience? Was it the pitch? Was it the angle? Was it the lighting? Could it have been anything at all that a professional photography expert?
Mhm.
See, because there's also not only blood experts out there, ballistics experts, there's photography experts that can take that same picture that he's looking at or pictures and tell us a lot more. Or they can tell a good lawyer what questions to ask
Oh.
Mr. Dr. Revell. What did you look at that day? What did you look at in those pictures? Where did you? It's an opinion, guys. Remember Mark Davis's famous words. Dr. Revell opines. Dr. Revell opines. Dr. Revell opines. Dr. Revell opines. Dr. Revell's opinion. Opinions. You know what they say about opinions. We all have them. The only difference in mine and your all's is mine's the right one. Mine's correct. Distance,
You're
time,
not right.
speed test. Another major test challenges a familiar story in this story where a
Mhm.
vehicle with headlights off could set stationary near New Hope Church, then accelerate and arrive at the bridge at the same time Buford's car. That's what we don't know. Buford may have been kissing on his wife. He may
Yeah.
have, instead of going 50 miles an hour, he may have been going 10 miles an hour. Him and her may have been
Silly.
husband and wives, guys. Are you married? Have you ever been on a date? Have you husbands and wives, nobody around, the road's empty, you're going on vacation, you're all relaxed, you're having a good time.
Mm.
Even in that movie, he says, "Here, give me a kiss," and she says, "No,
That'd be
get
a good
away."
one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably come from him. That might have been his last memory of him and her actually doing that. Of course, none of us have ever done that to our wives, trying to pull her over there and trying to,
Yeah.
or traffic's going by and she's saying, "Don't do that." And no, guys, we still have not seen this so-called statement of Buford Pusser's.
Right.
Because see, they're going to try to say that they set this stage up about a car pulling out. He just said that a car pulled out. He said that on an interview. Car pulled out somewhere around.
He said he noticed it
He-
about
he's
the time the lights came
come on. But he said he figures looking back on it that they might have been staged up there at the church.
New Hope.
Then, if it's true, Dennis Hathcock has said that he's followed Buford around all night. That him and somebody else followed him around all night to see if they could find him into anything. He done went home, and now he's called back out. Nobody it followed him around all night, and we find it on. And Dennis didn't get caught. He's 17-year-old boy. He didn't get caught following Dennis around all night.
Dennis is
But we
following.
find it amazing that somebody pulled right up on Buford and he didn't know they were there till they turned the lights on? Is that how do you go both ways? One minute, Dennis followed him around all night. He's tracked him all night long.
So when
He
did he
didn't.
stop
He didn't
following
notice.
him?
He didn't notice them. He didn't notice being followed all night long.
Exactly.
But when he finally the next morning,
Mhm.
he's been followed and he don't notice them till the lights come on, and then people find that hard to believe. Not something someone wrote later in a book.
Mm.
Where's his signed statement? Go by his TV and radio interviews, guys. Go by what you see coming out of his word. If you want to see Buford Pusser's statements,
Mhm.
go to Ever Television, go to anybody you can that's got home movies, and get his statement from that. That's
Mm.
Buford Pusser's statement. The only statement that should, from this day forward, ever be recognized as Buford Pusser's. If you don't have him on tape, you don't have Buford Pusser's statement. Proves nothing. Said. Was driving cars pulled up beside him.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way it was inconsistent. They couldn't catch up to Buford on what was said. You can't go by that because that's not his statement. That's something somebody's wrote. That's not Buford's statement. Next Junior interview snippet. A late 1980s interview note. Nix Jr. appears evasive and tries to steer the conversation to something else. And that's what we say. That's 1980, guys.
Mm-hmm.
How about 2025? How about the FBI? How about Cash Patel?
Yeah.
Sending Cash, solve his case wide open.
That would be amazing.
Solve his case. Send somebody to see Nix.
Yeah.
Send somebody to see him and ask him to give evidence. Give Donald Trump pardon him. Let him out. If he tells us what happened, the true story, what happened to Buford Pusser, it would be worth
And there's
letting
proof.
him, with proof, letting him go free. If that's what it takes, and he's got evidence or can shine a light on this that would clear up Buford Pusser's name, wouldn't that be great? Let him go. Goodness sakes. Offer him immunity. Offer release. Just tell the truth. Key statements attributed to, what's her name?
LaVon. In the recordings, she was the best friend with Pauline Mullins Pusser. Pauline and Buford were separated at the time of August the 12th, 1967 ambush/murder. She believed Pauline was staying at a motel in Savannah, Tennessee when this occurred.
Now that's what Mike Elam said. That's what Mike Elam says. That's not what she's saying. That's what Mike Elam says.
Mm-hmm.
Key statements attributed to LaVon. Attributed, guys. Key statements attributed, meaning somebody has said that that's what she said. It doesn't say key statements, LaVon.
And Pauline were.
What's her last name? Plunk.
Yeah.
Plunk.
Sorry, I drew a blank.
It doesn't say key statements LaVon Plunk told the TBI, told anybody. It says attributed to. Mike Elam, in his videos, no doubt in his book, he attributes LaVon Plunk saying that Pauline was staying in a hotel. You're going to hear in a minute. I'll wait till I get to that part so I don't get ahead. But he also said that in his book and in his videos that LaVon Plunk had been out all night long with Pauline Pusser. They had been bar hopping. They had been drinking all night long.
Mm-hmm.
She went on a call with Buford, 4:30, somewhere in there. She got killed an hour later, 2 hours later. Body shuts down. Your liver shuts down. Everything's dead. What's in your body, what's in that shell is there. And what's in that shell is evidence. The liver's not working. The liver's not processing this alcohol you've been drinking. It's not cleaning. It's there. They done during the autopsy, They did a test. They said the only thing her body had in it was a caffeine.
Caffeine.
Poor old Pauline been drinking coffee. Mike Elam said they've been out all night bar hopping. Drink all night, yet no alcohol on the BA.
Yep.
So we call hogwash. He said she didn't know anything. When they asked her about it, about this statement that she had made that they were in a hotel and they were split up, Levon said she didn't know anything.
Mhm.
I thought I saw a video on Mike's page where she said she heard a shot. Mike Elam says on his channel,
Yep.
I watched the video, and he says that Levon was dropping Pauline off and says she heard a shot. And then later on, Diane seen Buford carrying. That's what he said in a video.
Mhm.
Thought
Said she
saw-
couldn't tell her husband because her husband was friends with Buford and worked for Buford.
Exactly. That's what Elam said. Now we're
Yeah.
finding out that with me as an investigator, my main suspect right now would be with them having that gun.
Mhm.
My main suspect I'd be looking at right now would be Petey Plunk.
Plunk.
That would have been involved with the 1967 ambush. That's my prime suspect. Him and some other people, but guys talked about it to each other, blood casings.
She said on the interview with Miss Levon that she didn't know what he was talking about and didn't know why he was even there. Mr. Elam.
Levon Plunk interview. What's in the file? Date. TBI received a copy of the audio on July the 21st of 2023. The interview itself was conducted by Mike Elam, September of 2009. Mike Elam gave the TBI an audio, a tape, on July the 21st of 23 that he says is of him and Levon Plunk. Who is she? Who she is? Levon Plunk, later Levon Jones Sullivan. So she's got married twice more since Plunk. Because now she was a Jones and now she's a Sullivan. Was married to Deputy Petey Plunk, who worked for a sheriff's office and is the mother of Ricky Plunk. Full ballistics, FBI report, lab. What's time we on? 45 minutes. So we're going to have 2-hour videos, or maybe that last. Okay, guys, that's going to conclude. I don't have nothing else. Sheila, you got anything?
No, I would like to say we would like to thank everyone who tunes in every day to watch our videos and to leave comments and tell us what you think and give us some really good ideas. You have some really good questions, and we appreciate y'all. We couldn't do this without you all. You all are amazing. Thanks for watching. We hope you are doing well. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless. Bye.